Hey everybody, welcome back to Bixby's Beer Reviews. So great to have you here with me for the first 2022 entry in the hashtag BBR Labs series. Today we got a beer from Virginia Beach stalwarts Commonwealth Brewing Company, one of my favorite breweries here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is Sun Valley. It's an 8% hazy silver can, very classic one. Comes to us with Azacca, Mosaic, and Cryo Idaho 7 hops. That's right. If you read the description of the show today, we're going to be talking about Cryo Hops. Now, you may remember that our most recent BBR Lab series, which focused on hop techniques, talked about Lupomax. And we learned that Lupomax is a proprietary hop processing technique that comes from Haas, a hop grower in the Yakima Valley region of Washington State, where so many of our wonderful hops are grown. And what it did is it more or less brought you more lupulin, which is the stuff in hops that gives you the wonderful aromas and flavors, and less of the bract, which is the vegetal matter that comes along with it usually in a traditional hop cone or pellet, to give us a cleaner and better dialed in hop flavor, and to make it easier for brewers to give you the hop impression that you need. And you may recall that the beer that we had in that case had all three of its hops were Lupomax hops. Maybe even actually had four. I'd have to go back and check. At any rate, this beer uses Cryo hops. Cryo is also a proprietary hop processing technique. In this case, it's from Yakima Chief, another big hop grower in the Yakima Valley. And I'm here to tell you, Lupomax and Cryo, pretty much the same thing. Hop growers with proprietary things, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Feel free to contact me and let me know what I'm missing here. But as far as I can tell, Cryo and Lupomax are the same thing. Cryo involves processing hops in a way that gives more lupulin and less bract in each pellet that comes along. I do believe Cryo uses a special low temperature processing technique. That's where the Cryo comes from, to help avoid oxidization of those precious lupulin oils. Now, I have gone and checked the actual the spec sheets that come with the hops. Maybe Cryo hops on balance have a little bit more alpha acids to them than Lupomax hops. I haven't done a scientific survey to figure that out. It just seemed that way from looking at a couple. But other than that, it seems to be about the same thing. But what we're going to check out here is a beer that uses only one Cryo hop, in this case being Idaho 7. Well, the other two hops, Azacca and Mosaic, are traditional hops. So let's crack this one open and see what's going on. So as I said, Commonwealth, one of my very favorite breweries. I don't do enough of their beers here on the BBR. But rest assured, I am drinking their beers very often. They once made one of my all-time favorite hazy beers. It was called Valkyrie. Commonwealth, if you're watching, please bring back Valkyrie. It was one of your best hazies. Anyways, we're reminiscing about other Commonwealth beers because we know what this 8% hazy New England IPA looks like. We've seen it before and we'll see it again. So let's go ahead and give this one a smell. Very strong aroma coming off this one. Now, to talk about the non-cryo hop for a sec, Azacca. You all know Azacca, one of my very favorite hops. Nothing brings the intense tropical mango the way Azacca does. I've told you people before, if they didn't put those big seeds in the middle of mangoes, I would be unemployed because I would sit at home and just chew on mangoes all day. They're delicious. And so if I see a beer with Azacca, I usually get pretty excited because I know I'm going to get that wonderful aroma. But here, Azacca, despite being one of the stronger hops that I usually encounter, very much in the background. Instead, I get a very intense kind of sour citrus aroma. Certainly kind of a tangerine, almost to orange, but not quite. More so a kind of a ruby red grapefruit aroma. Also getting a little bit of a kind of a green fruit, I guess I would describe it, flavor, something like Granny Smith apples, almost going a little bit into a not quite piney place, but just sort of a more grassy note. So I would say that in the first instance, the Idaho 7 really has taken command here. This reminds me of a lot of Citra Idaho 7 combo beers I've had before. That's a very classic combo that Idaho 7 shows up with, where you get just this massive blast of like a range of citrus fruits. That's what it smells like. Let's see if it's doing the same thing with the flavor. So same story on the flavor. Idaho 7, once again in the driver's seat. That same tangerine, grapefruit, citrus, almost like citrus peel or citrus rind flavor is there. It gives almost an apparent bitterness to it, even though the actual beer has very few IBUs. There is also, I would say, a little bit more pronounced of a kind of woody, earthy note underneath. But the two things I don't get really are either sort of the fresher fruits that Mosaic sometimes brings, and the mango that Azacca is really known for. I would say that I wouldn't swear that this is an Idaho 7 only beer, and it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in the background with all that just impressive citrus up front. But I think there's a lesson here about what you can expect from Cryo, and I think it's probably the same one you can draw about Lupomax, which is to put the Cryo hop or the Lupomax hop right out in front. It dominates the aroma, it dominates the flavors. And that's interesting to me because I love a single hop beer. But as we talked about, I think we did an Idaho 7 only episode, it's not really a hop that can carry a beer all the way. It just tends to be, at least to my mind, a little too high, a little bit too acidy almost, to bring out some of the acids and oils of citrus rather than some of the juicier, sweeter flavors. And so here I think Idaho 7 gets a better chance to shine. And just in the way it's often comboed with Citra to get more of the more well-rounded citrus effect, here Mosaic and Azacca are in the background, giving it a little bit more earth, a little bit more heft, again, almost kind of a piney note to counterbalance that intense citrus, ultimately giving us a very interesting and unique beer. So, Cryo Hops, nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to worry about. You're armed with knowledge, and so you can stride confidently up and down the aisles of your local beer store and find what you need to get. So thanks for joining me for this latest edition of BBR Labs. Always great to have you with me, and I hope you'll join me next time. And until then, bye now.